Hi, I'm Tiffany Eatz, and I am here on the set of the Meera Gandhi show with Meera Gandhi.
Hi.
Hi. So, she is a philanthropist and a humanitarian with a compelling life story full of achievement and giving back. She's done a lot of things, from creating a charity foundation to even making a TV show, which is what we're here to talk about today.
Thank you. So nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me. So, I would first like you to discuss how you came up with such a unique topic for a show.
You know, Tiffany, I've had this idea in my head for a long time because I feel like we all have an inner calling and we all want to live a very happy, fruitful journey. We want to live a life that's de-stressed. We want to live a life that's joyful. We want to live a life that is just fulfilling as we go through.
Right.
And people say that life doesn't come with the textbook. Mm-hmm. But my personal experience is that if you really look around, there are clues. If you live your life in a certain way, you are bound to bring more joyfulness, more happiness. You are bound to de-stress. And as I began to understand this, I wanted to put it into a show so that I could share this with as many people. Also, it became the third mandate of our Giving Back Foundation, which was to bring mental peace and happiness to people. So along with the foundation's third mandate and a very successful Ledgewood retreat that we showcased last year that was very well attended and gave people a lot of peace of mind, sort of came this TV show. It's a happy show. People come on the show and they share with us what's worked for them. And these are just incredible life nuggets. I mean, it's transformed my life. We're now at the end of one season. We've done a whole season. And along the way, I have learned so many things that I have put into practice into my own life.
What would you like everyone to take away from the show? What do you want your viewers to learn?
I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned while doing this show is that to really have a happy life, we need a combination of really being calm. And when I say being calm, we have to manage our thoughts in every moment of the day, really managing, shutting off the thoughts that don't work for us and combining it with a modest life. So the calmness plus modest living brings happiness.
And that happiness is the whole basis of the show, and de-stressing and feeling good.
That's what we all want. We're
Right.
all looking for happiness.
Yeah.
Why do we work so hard? Why do we want the second car? Why do we want kids? Why do we want that promotion? Why do we want the corner office? Why do we want to be with friends? Why do we eat certain foods? Why do we do certain things? We're all just looking for happiness.
right.
It's as simple as that.
And you use spirituality to find this happiness, right? So I think all your viewers definitely would love to learn how you define spirituality and what does it mean to you?
What does spirituality mean to me? I think spirituality to me is when I live in sync with the universe, when my inside resonates with my outside. What I'm truly feeling and thinking is resonating with what is happening in the universe outside. And spirituality to me also means when I really understand that there is no difference, there is no I, there's no I and there's no they. I mean, because the reality of it, it doesn't exist. All the wars happen is because we want to divide. Anytime we want to unite, there's happiness. Anytime we want to divide something, a family divided, a country divided, a team divided, is unhappy. And spirituality is understanding that and making all the cells in your body, through yoga, through thinking, through action, resonate to reflect that.
And I just love how your mindset and your show is all about just benefiting yourself both physically and psychologically. So tell us about your shots, the locations of them in New York City. They're breathtaking and beautiful. And I was wondering why you picked those areas.
I love how you use the word breathtaking, because life is about breath. On every show, we sit down and we take 3 Om breaths. Shall we do that together now?
Yes.
Okay, so just find any place and let's take 3 deep breaths in and chant Om 3 times. Aum. Slowly open your eyes. And it is very interesting how this shifts you into a new space.
Oh yeah.
And so we've done this on every show and it's been marvelous. And that comes back to your question about the breathtaking places we shot in. I felt that to de-stress, it was important to shoot on the river, on mountains, near the ocean, in parks. We shot in Central Park. We've shot in Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge was the freedom episode, and we felt that, you know, bridges, transitions, escapes, freedom, open spaces. And for all those reasons, we've shot in a number of really, really beautiful places. And we've been fortunate that we've had access to them and, you know, very close in and around New York City.
New York City, there's so many places that are amazing. And so that's more of the, you know, technical camera work and locations. But what about the people themselves behind the camera? How did you feel working with the crew and the team?
I think we've had a superb crew. We've worked with basically the same people, and I was lucky that people who were already sort of spiritually inclined sort of got staffed on the show. It just happened that way, and it's been very seamless. I think the first day we were filming at Brooklyn Bridge Park, and we were all very nervous, and we were so intently shooting that we didn't realize that there was a lawnmower behind that was cutting grass, and so we missed a part of the interview, and we were just so into it. I mean, we'll show you a piece of that. It's actually really funny. So there have been some moments, but most of the moments have been joyful. It's a joyful show. It's a show about de-stressing, and so obviously while shooting it, we have all benefited from that energy.
I love the energy and the feel good. That's what we all need to do. I'm curious, do you have any fun stories?
Oh my God, we had many hilarious, funny, incredible moments, but one that really comes to mind is earlier days when we were shooting, I think again it was Brooklyn Bridge Park, and we were shooting on Love, and we saw this couple. They were holding hands, walking along the water, and they had their 2 dogs with them, and they were like so in love. And I said, okay, can we stop the cameras for a minute? Can we run and find these people and see if they want to be on camera and they want to be in the show? And so we ran and got them, and they came on the show, and they were just like so happy to do it, and they brought their loving energy into it, because everyone brings a certain energy. And we've had these amazing moments where we get to a place and we have an idea of how we're going to film it, and then it goes completely in a different direction. We had world famous Oscar violinist Tim Fain on one of the shows. I think he was on the Freedom show, and we get to St. Anne's Warehouse. We're shooting outside there, and the skies open up and it's raining and pelting. My hair's like stuck to my head, and Tim Fain, he just smiled and he's like, well, I love playing in the rain. And I was like, we got this. And so we found a little sort of shelter, and we did the interview, and Tim talked about freedom, and he talked about love, and he talked about the importance of music to calming the soul. And then he played like a perfect peace on his violin with the Brooklyn Bridge in the background, and the rain was falling softly. And I mean, you can't even envision those moments. They just magically happen.
Yeah.
It's palpable, it's tangible. The rain is falling. You're feeling the energy of the water, and it's divine. We all need to take a step back. We all need to feel less stress, and we all need to be less worried. I mean, greed brings worry. We have to remember these things. And I've been meeting a lot of spiritual healers and gurus who've just been happy to speak wherever I am. And I just attended a YPO event where Swami Parthasati spoke at the opera in Dubai. And he also said, to all the businessmen here, you're stressed because you take out too much loans. Leverage gives you stress. Deleverage. And that goes to all aspects of your life. Manage your expectation. What is stress? Stress is the gap between reality and expectation. You have false expectations. This is your reality. You're going to be stressed. And you can manage it. And manage it now and enjoy the journey, because before you know it, he's like, I know, I'm 90 years old. Before you know it, in a blink of an eye, the journey is gone. So I do think that this show will resonate everywhere. We're looking at UK, we're looking at airing it in Europe, we're looking at airing it in India, which is my home. New York's just as much my home. And I've also spoken to some people who would like to see season 2 shot on the banks of the river Ganges in Rishikesh, in Haridwar, with Swami Chidanandan, but in a very pop way where Swami Chidanand really talks about life lessons, sitting in the German cafe, for example. Nobody steal my idea, it's mine. And the way to bring these life lessons to the foreground without it being heavy and too much to absorb, like easy.
And that's how all this sounds, just easy, free-spirited, just totally easygoing.
It has to be. And also to incorporate meditation. I have incorporated meditation in my life, and I see a very big change. And I think that it's important for us to assist each other in this journey. If I have some knowledge about this, I want to share it. A banker will have knowledge about what to do with your money. An accountant will have knowledge with how to manage your money, or a fashion expert will give you knowledge on how to dress and put yourself together. Right. A makeup person will share that. We all have different things to share. This is what I have to share, and so I'm putting it out there.
So in this cure, I was wondering what people can learn. What advice would you give to the people who listen to your message?
I think the advice I would give to people who are watching the show is watch the show with an open mind. And really, I have offered 3 tips on every show. But please take away from the show what resonates with you. If a relationship is not an issue with you, but taking that time out to go for a walk or make personal space is important. I mean, try to find from the show, just like you would in a book, the nuggets that resonate with you, and bring that into your life, because it's going to make a difference in your life. We're on this planet together. We are We're going nowhere alone.
So I've also seen some trending moments on the show. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's that Aquarian side of me where I like things to be suddenly random things come to my head, and so that is reflected in the show. I've had my Aquarian moments where it was like, oh, I was at the Ludlow House last night with my daughter in New York City. Let's use that in trending. It's so hip that all the Broadway artists sit by the fireplace and share their their crafts. Or this Thanksgiving, I was with my kids after Thanksgiving. We went to the very trending William Vale Hotel, and we went up to the west side rooftop where we saw for miles and miles, and it was just fabulous. And these are such special moments I've shared with my friends and my children and my family. Another exciting trending moment we picked up was this little bakery in Long Island City where the baker, who was actually an architect, uses 3D printing to craft out his pastries, which are delicious, but they're all 3D printed.
That's awesome.
And it's just so funky and so interesting, things like that. And that's called the Sugar Cube Bakery, and it also happens to serve the best cup of coffee. Things like that I've shared in trending, and I think it makes for a very all-encompassing show.
That definitely sounds like things to check out. So my last question for you now, moving away from the show, tell us about yourself, tell us about your charity foundation.
So I started the Giving Back Foundation in 2010, and it came from a space when I was doing a lot of things on committees, but I felt I wasn't reaching the end goal. And I have since understood the yearning is, it's a yearning of service. And when I was raising my kids, that as a mother, that was kind of my seva, my service. I got up early, I took them to school, I sat with them for homework, I made sure their uniforms were ready, I cooked dinner. I'm not a very good cook, but I cooked dinner every night. So I think as my kids grew up, that seva component in my life obviously was less because my kids were in college, and I was looking to replace it unknowing to me. And I started the foundation where I thought I could just use that seva bhav to reach out to other people. And it's been an incredible journey. I've met amazing people. I've been able to help people. People have helped me. It's always a symbiotic process because we are to the universe only as much as we give back to it. And out of that journey, I hit upon this mental wellness because I realized that in this fast pace, it was not only about people who needed material things. A lot of people were feeling like their lives needed uplifting, needed joyfulness, needed hope, needed a sense of purpose. And so out of that came this TV show. So I think it's this process of the foundation is sort of ever evolving. And I'm so grateful to everyone who's on this journey with me because it's made my life incredible. And it also teaches me that we have to do this together. We're all in this together.
Can you tell us the topics of all 12 episodes?
Yes, I can. We started with the love episode. Then we moved into compassion. Then we talked about celebration in one's life. Then we had the peace episode, finding peace within ourselves. Then we did the freedom episode with Tim Fain. We did a happiness episode with Jules Bakshi, where we talked about the happiness within and without. We talked about the importance of accomplishment, which we shot at the United Nations. We did an episode on karma and destiny, where we even looked at the karma and destiny of houses, properties, people. Then we did a revitalization episode. I had come back from Tanzania and I sort of drew on my experience from the wild animals there. And then we had the yoga episode. We did an episode on creativity, and we did a wonderful episode on climate change.
Those all sound awesome. So
Fun.
which were if you had to pick, which were your favorites?
Ooh, that's hard. But if I had to pick 4, I would pick the yoga episode. I resonated with the episode. I felt it was very true to my own personal journey. I loved the creativity episode. Juan Bernal, master artist, was in the episode, and he was just divine. And the climate episode was superb. We had a student from Brown University talk about his dissertation, and he was amazing. And I liked the karma and destiny episode very much. I had intended to talk more about the karma and destiny of a person. And we shot it in Harlem in my friend Anita Trehan's restaurant, Chai Wali. We had 2 people who were on the show who were both real estate brokers, and they started talking about the karma and destiny of properties. And we ended with a teen Harlem gospel choir that just came in and sang This Little Light of Mine, so it was beautiful. Another episode that resonated was the revitalization episode, where I had just come back from a trip where in Tanzania it was very clear that when animals need to rest, for example, after they kill and they eat, a tiger rests for 10 days. I mean, rabbits, deer, anything can come across. If the lion doesn't need it, he will not hunt, but he will give his body the time it needs to rest. And I feel we're in this hectic age where we're doing. There's something to be learned from this. There are times when we just need to revitalize and rest and say no, that every opportunity is not for us.
Yeah.
And I was really thinking of my 3 kids who are just such overachievers, that they would get something from this episode and just take that moment to sleep and not burn the candle on both ends. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
No, definitely. I personally would love to watch that episode because I could learn a lot from it, you know?
I think you would love it.
Yeah, especially just like the Johns Hopkins go, go, go. We all need time. Let's all learn from that. Just
to reflect, to sleep,
chill out,
to rewind,
to restore.
And it has all of that. And climate change episode was wonderful. Warren Candors had invited me to something at the Whitney Museum, and this incredible student, Andres Chang, was speaking about the importance of climate change and the experiment he did where he strapped himself to a buoy to understand the climate patterns. But what he learned in the process was, at one point when he was strapped to this buoy on the ocean, the beat of the ocean and his heartbeat was one. It was sync. So they actually measured it, and it was just beating in one rhythm, really, really reinforcing that we are one with the planet, we are one with each other, we are one, united, you know. And so that episode was, I just thought it was so unique and so special. And that's been the journey, learning from these different people, understanding who we are, and most important, how we can just take these lessons into our life and just enjoy our life more and be less stressed and be more happy and be more patient and be more aware. And that's what this journey is about.
Living in the present, in life.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you so much for having me. And I really did learn a lot sitting here with you, even doing those 3 ohms. I feel better. So
thank you so much. And before you leave, I have a small gift for you. This is my book. It's called Giving Back, and it features some of my experiences with some of the most amazing charities. I'd like you to have it.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Namaste.
Namaste.
And Om Shanti.